Hello and welcome to MotivEnglish, the global channel where English learning meets daily motivation. Here you will practice simple English, listen to inspiring stories, and find the energy to grow every single day. With MotivEnglish, you do not just learn English, you learn to shine. The book The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey is one of the most famous books about success and personal growth. Millions of people have read it, and many say it changed their lives. But what makes this book special is not big theories or difficult words. It is special because it gives us 7 simple habits that can guide us in daily life. These habits are easy to understand, but they are powerful when we practice them every day. Covey tells us that real success is not only about money or power. Real success is about living with purpose, building strong character, and creating good relationships. The 7 habits are like 7 steps on a ladder. The first steps help us take control of ourselves, the next steps help us work well with others, and the last step reminds us to take care of our energy so we can keep growing. The first habit is be proactive. This means we choose our response instead of blaming everything around us. Imagine it rains and you say the rain ruined your day. That is reactive. Imagine it rains and you say, I will take an umbrella and still have a good day. That is proactive. It is a small change in words but a big change in life. This habit teaches us that we are not victims. We have power to choose. The second habit is begin with the end in mind. This means we think about the future before we act today. If you want to be healthy, imagine yourself healthy, and then act in a way that moves you there. If you want to be a kind person, imagine your family talking about you as kind, and then live that way. Without an end in mind, we may climb a ladder for years only to find it was against the wrong wall. That is funny but true. Many people run fast but in the wrong direction. This habit invites us to pause and ask, what do I really want? The third habit is put first things first. Life is full of urgent things and important things. Urgent things shout, but important things whisper. Checking messages feels urgent, but building your skills is important. Watching one more video feels urgent, but spending time with your child is important. Covey teaches us to do first things first, not last. This habit is about priorities. It tells us to organize, to focus, and sometimes to say no. It reminds us that time is life, so we must use it wisely. These first 3 habits together are called private victory. They are about moving from dependence to independence. They help us control ourselves and shape our own life. But Covey says independence is not the final goal. The higher level is interdependence, which means working well with others. The fourth habit is think win-win. Many people believe life is a game where one must lose for another to win. But Covey says no. Win-win means both sides can win. For example, in business, if I sell you something good at a fair price, you win and I win. In family, if children help and parents listen, both sides win. This habit reminds us that cooperation creates more than competition. Life is not only about my cake or your cake. It is about baking a bigger cake together. The fifth habit is seek first to understand, then to be understood. This is simple but hard. We love to speak, but we forget to listen. Many of us listen only to prepare our answer. But true listening means feeling the other person's story. If you listen first, people will trust you and then they will listen to you. Imagine a friend says, I am sad. If you answer, oh I know, I felt sad yesterday too, you miss the point. If you say, tell me more, I want to understand, then your friend feels heard. This habit is gold for relationships. The sixth habit is synergize. It sounds like a big word, but it simply means working together is better than working alone. One person plays a guitar, it is nice. Many people play different instruments, it becomes a band. One person thinks of an idea, it is small. Many people think together, it becomes bigger. Synergy means respecting differences and turning them into strength. This habit teaches us that diversity is not a problem, it is a gift. These 3 habits are called public victory. They help us move from independence to interdependence. They show us that life is richer when we succeed together. The 7th habit is sharpen the saw. Imagine you cut wood with a dull saw. You get tired and the tree still stands. Someone says, stop and sharpen the saw. You answer, I have no time, I am busy cutting. That is funny, but it is also us. We work and work but forget to rest, to read, to exercise, to play. Sharpen the saw means taking care of yourself, body, mind, heart, and spirit. When you rest, you return stronger. When you learn, you grow. When you laugh, you heal. Together, these 7 habits form a full circle. Be proactive, begin with the end in mind. Put first things first, think win-win, seek first to understand, synergize, and sharpen the saw. If you practice them, you move from being controlled by life to controlling your life, from being alone to working with others, and from burning out to living strong. Covey also teaches that personality tricks are not enough. Many people try to look confident or to sound smart, but without real character it does not last. Personality is like a coat, character is like the skin. The 7 habits focus on character, on being honest, responsible, and kind. When you build your character, your relationships and your work become solid too. There are lessons of balance in this book. Life is like a garden, you must water all parts. If you only water your job and forget family, your family becomes dry. If you only water fun and forget discipline, your garden becomes wild. The 7 habits help us water body, mind, heart, and soul. They remind us to live as whole people. There is also humor in these lessons. Think of habit 1. Be proactive. It sounds easy, but when traffic is heavy and someone cuts in front of you, being proactive feels like a big challenge. Think of habit 3. Put first things first. You know you must exercise, but the sofa and the TV look so friendly. That is why Covey says habits are not one-time choices, they are daily practices. We fail sometimes, but we can laugh and try again. So what advice can we take? The first advice is to start small. Do not try to change everything in 1 week. Pick one habit, practice it, and let it grow. The second advice is to be patient. Habits are like seeds, they need time. The third advice is to share. When you practice with friends or family, the habits grow faster. The 7 habits are not about becoming perfect. They are about becoming better. Even small changes make life brighter. When you choose to smile instead of complain, you practice habit 1. When you write a small plan for the week, you practice habit 2 and 3. When you listen carefully to a friend, you practice habit 5. When you rest and read, you practice habit 7. And each of these moments is a victory. In the end, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is not just a book. It is a mirror and a map. It shows us who we are, and it guides us where to go. It whispers that life is not about speed, but about direction. It smiles and reminds us that success is not a destination, it is a journey. And along this journey, the habits are good companions. So remember, choose your response, dream your future, do first things first, share success, listen deeply, work together, and renew yourself. These habits will not only make you effective, they will also make you happy. And happiness, after all, is the richest habit of all. So today we have learned about the 7 habits that can guide us to live better, work smarter, and love deeper. These habits are not magic, they are daily choices, and every small step makes a big difference. Remember, success is not about being perfect, it is about becoming better every day. If you start with one habit and practice with patience, you will see change in your life. Thank you for watching MotivEnglish. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. With MotivEnglish, you do not just learn English, you learn to shine.